take a moment and think about problem solving. How do you solve a problem? Whether it's a small personal problem in your life, whether it's a social problem, a societal problem, whether it's a global problem, how do you solve it? And the answer, according to the wisdom of our world, according to the way that everything in our entire world works, is that problems are solved through the application of power. That you find a way to apply domination or accumulation. So if there's a problem regarding some sort of social issue, we dominate the problem so as to alleviate what's causing it. If there's a social problem, our culture always tends to declare a war, metaphorically, right? A war on drugs, a war on poverty, you name it. We tend to try to dominate the problem so as to get rid of, oppose, and remove what causes the problem. And we always think about this in the terms of power. Think about other problems. Think about the problem of personal security or retirement, or the struggles to make sure that your future is set. We accumulate things. Every situation, every problem in our world is about domination or accumulation. This is the logic of how our world works. And I can say a lot more, but I want to ask you to pray about that this week. Pray about how our world says the way to fix the problem is to dominate or to accumulate. What did it look like a couple weeks ago when we got news of the pandemic and everyone decided to, not everyone, a lot of people decided to go out and begin hoarding those important supplies. Why they chose toilet paper, I don't understand, but hand sanitizer, that makes a little bit more sense. Accumulation and domination is the logic of our world to solve problems. But it's not the logic of the cross. What we have here in this celebration, both beginning today on Palm Sunday and going throughout the whole week, is the celebration of the Paschal Mystery, where Jesus literally enters into his holy city, Jerusalem, and he confronts all the problems of the world, big and small, and he applies a different method of problem solving than domination and accumulation. And we finally see how everything he said and taught and did makes sense, because he challenges us, take up your cross and follow me. He said to us, the one who tries to save his life will lose it, but if you give your life away for my sake, then it shall be saved. The logic of the cross is the opposite of the logic of the world. The cross is a different problem-solving technique than domination and accumulation. The power of God, illustrated on the cross, is a different power than the power of the world. It's so strange to us that it's really difficult for our imagination to get wrapped around why. Why did Jesus have to take up his cross? Why are we commanded to take up our cross and follow him? Why do we celebrate such tragic events as if they are so holy, so necessary, so important, and so powerful? How stupid are we as Christians to propose that willingly suffering for another fixes the brokenness of the world? It goes so against everything else we believe, everything else we've ever been told, everything else that seems to work. Until now. I would imagine if you're watching our live streaming of Mass, you're sitting at home, and you're staying at home, and you're sacrificing of your life and a certain amount of mobility and freedom for the common good. For the first time in my life, we as a whole nation, as a culture, as a globe, are beginning to experience the reality that self-sacrifice, giving up of something, putting the needs and the priorities of another as more important than myself, turning away from domination and accumulation, giving of myself, sacrificing of myself. This is the only real solution that works. And here we are in the midst of a pandemic, and we're realizing it, and we're experiencing it for the very first time. No declaration of war, no accumulation of products, no domination, no normal processes of power that this world claims is so important will fix this problem. Only self-sacrifice. And maybe for the first time as you are stuck at home, and as soon as we're done broadcasting this, I'm going back home and I'm staying there. Maybe for the first time we get to experience on a global level what the logic of the cross means. If we dare enough, if we believe enough, if we are if we are courageous enough to try it, the promise of this day, the promise of the cross, is that this strange new divine power of self-sacrifice, love, this is the real solution to the brokenness of our world. This is the only way to fix our problems. Not just a pandemic, but every other problem that our society and our world faces. This life of self-sacrifice, this life of love of others, this taking up of our cross and living differently according to the cross, not domination or accumulation, this is what divine power looks like. And this is the solution to the brokenness of our world.